Welcome back to the lounge. It's 8:02 p.m. and sitting next to me for Artist Tuesday is Miss Jacqueline Constance. How you doing, honey?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey.
What's up, bro?
So really excited that she could come into Word Studios, right, and rock out with us for Artist Tuesday. Jack, tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Man, I do a lot. So I am a singer. I'm a songwriter. I also produce, sort of a sound creator. I do like scoring and composition. I do a lot of stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot, but it's fun though. Comes with the territory.
You definitely make it look fun, and your Instagram, like the visuals, are amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, Jacqueline Music. JACQCONMUSIC. That's her on Instagram.
Yes, you better.
Listen.
You better know.
I've been watching. And liking and all of that.
Hey now.
No, but all right. So, tell me a little bit about like your background, how you got into music, and I guess just developed this passion and this talent for it.
Yeah. So, I've always like been into music. Like, my dad is like was this big like music head. Like he played every instrument known to man, right? And then my mom and like my grandma was always, black households, that Saturday morning you wake up and you hear Shaka Khan and Rufus playing, it's time to clean. But it was like that times 1,000. There was always music. There was always something playing. So I got a lot of my musical like prowess from them. But long story longer. So, my mom, when I was like 9, and she tells this story, she's one of those like, girl, I got her into music. It's because of me. One of those stories. So my mom, when I was like 9 years old, she entered me into a talent show, but she didn't tell me. It was like the week of, and she was like, hey, you're going to perform on Thursday. I'm like, what do you mean I'm about to perform? I know what I was singing. I'm like, okay. And I ended up, she was like, oh no, you're going to figure out your own song. You're going to practice and you'll get ready. And I'm like, it's like a week, Mom. All right. And literally that was the first time I performed, and I've been performing in music ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you end up going to Kappa?
Yep. So I went to Kappa, which, you ever watch them? Okay. You ever watch the movie Fame?
I saw some of it.
Okay, the old school movie. Just like that. We wasn't dancing on tables. But, like, when I said lunchtime used to be lit, it used to be lit. Look here. It used to be
got a
just
bunch
concerts.
Of creative kids.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Just having fun and goofing off. Like, Kappa was, like, crazy because you had all these creative minds together in one space, and it was a bubble because we didn't have, like issues with race and gender and sexuality were a thing, but we didn't get any of that being at Kappa. Like, I didn't experience any of that until like college, but like that was just a huge bubble. We were just able to come in and just be ourselves. So
when you say experience any of that, what do you mean? Like negativity?
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, just the overbearingness of, like, you know what I'm saying, racial tensions, and you know what I'm saying, like questions in sexuality and gender and identity, like that, those things that I didn't even become privy to until I went to college. So yeah, I was shielded. I'm kind of sad that I was shielded though, because it became this monster when I left Kappa. It became this thing like, oh my God, like what's going on? And people around me like, girl, this been going on. Like, where were you? But we were dancing on tables, guys. We were singing in the lunchrooms. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that, I enjoyed being in a bubble, but like ignorance is bliss. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know anything about it. So it was like, well, here we are. But it wasn't until then I'm like, oh, this world's crazy.
And where'd you go to college at?
So I went to college. I went to Wilberforce University, which is like total opposite from Kappa, right? So it's in the middle of Ohio, like rural Ohio, right? So Klan country. So we're one of two HBCUs out there. So it's Wilberforce and Central State, and we're like across the street from each other. Okay. So it's like this hub of like college, and then it's like cornfields, and then the nearest town is called Xenia, and it has 250,000 people at the most, I think. So those were the times where, and I went to an HBCU, but those were the times where I was like, to quote Nina Simone, like, I was a black girl and I knew about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would go into town and I would go to a Walmart and get followed. I would go and, like, be in a car and be followed by cops for blocks. Make, you know that little saying, like, if you get followed, make all left turns. Doing that for a half an hour.
Wow.
Then being followed by cop cars. This was like a daily thing. And students out there are still experiencing it.
Wow.
To this day. So that was like, it went from like bubble to like ha in your face.
Right.
So like two different extremes. You know what I'm saying?
And so you, I guess, clearly made your way back to Philly.
Right. True.
Then,
I survived.
That's what we do.
Right. We out here. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I mean, like, what? How did you dive kind of back into the Philly music scene?
You know what? It wasn't really intentional. Like, I came back out here after I graduated. It's a super senior. Hey,
hey,
like
girl.
5.5 years. Hey, I don't know.
Shout out to Temple.
Right? Hello. So when I came back out here, I really didn't know if I wanted to get in music. I just wanted to see what the scene was like. So I'm just out here just kind of bouncing around, going to stuff like open mics and like meeting people, like trying out new things. Ended up meeting a few like Philly cats that were really like doing stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like ended up meeting like Bino and ended up meeting Chill, ended up meeting all these people, Chill Moody. And like, I'm like, oh, okay. The scene out here is pretty decent. You know what I'm saying? So
what year was that when you came back?
Oh, that was 2012, I think. 2012 is when I really came back out here. Like 2013 was really when I started like diving deep into like what the Philly scene was about.
Gotcha.
Because I spent all of my like those 18 to like 21, 22 years out in Ohio. So I didn't know what adult Philly was.
Okay, gotcha.
So I needed some time to figure out adult Philly first, right? Hello.
It's very different.
And then I'm like, okay, like the Philly scene out here is pretty dope and it's so talented, but it's like so like large and spread out. Like Philly's music scene is very like diverse in that way, but I think it's diverse in a detriment because there's so many talented people out here that we end up being in a bubble. You know, everyone can sing, everyone could do runs, everyone has these like great gifts that you kind of get spoiled. And
then there's you looping.
Right, which is a thing.
Yeah, so, like, I get what you're saying. Yes, Philly is full of talented people. I can honestly say I never saw a looper, knew of looping.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to refer to it until I saw you do that.
Yeah.
So, like, try to explain for people who don't know, like, what is it called a loop?
Yeah. You call a looper, a loop pedal.
Loop pedal, yes. Yeah. Okay.
And in those words, I've heard them all. But pretty much, if you don't know what live looping is or looping is in general, it's usually when an artist uses a device, a loop pedal. They even have apps for it now, where you pretty much layer sound on top of each other. So what usually happens is that, like, I'll build up a beat, I'll either beatbox it or I use a beat machine to build it up, and then I'll layer it with harmonies and then a bass line and, you know, tricks and treats and all kinds of stuff.
The crazy part, though, is, like, you layer sounds only using, at least from what I saw, like, your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, so you... like, I'll never forget watching you do that.
Right.
And I watched you do it recently at Green Soul for the Female Takeover showcase. But, like, y'all, she creates an actual beat, like the bass, the drums. She creates all of that, and then lays the background vocals, and then actually starts to sing over this whole thing that she just created.
Yeah.
And my mind was blown. I was like, oh, wait, I'm hearing this, and I watched her make that noise.
It's crazy because it allows people, like, to come into, like, my creative space.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I just recently got into, like, production, but I don't think I've ever let people into, like, my musical, like, air quotes, sanctuary, right? And it allows my like performances to be a lot more intimate. It allows people into like my brain, which on a regular like case you wouldn't be able to do that. I'm very like closed off in that way, right? So music and performing allows you to kind of step in and be like, ah, that's what Jackie is thinking. That's how she gets things done. You know what I'm saying? So like it's super like freeing to kind of be able to create your own thing on stage and not have to worry about like a band or, you know, someone plays this in the wrong key. Now I got to adjust. Nope. It's all on you.
So how do you go about keeping an audience engaged as you go through this, like this process that they're witnessing of you literally creating a song from scratch in front of them, and you'll blend like cover songs together.
Yeah.
So like how do you, first of all, did you ever experience any challenges? Like when you were starting out just doing this, was that uncomfortable? Like, because you just have people essentially staring there, like staring and looking at you while you're trying to get all of this done.
Right. So when it comes to like people who watching, right, it's like different levels of like attention they kind of have when they watch me. First is like, they're like, what is going on here? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, she just beatboxed. Okay, now she's adding the bass line. So first is like, it's just confusion. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm into it. But I'm going to watch and see where it goes. And then it's like, once you realize what I'm doing, it's like, oh, got you. Okay, okay, solid. And then I've seen people be in the space be like, oh, you haven't seen her? Oh, just wait a second. You want right? Be like, hold on, wait. So what I found is that like I keep people's attention by number one being quick with building a loop, because people's attention spans are just short. It is what it is. But also like just being engaging with who I am. Like I feel like even if I didn't have the looper, like the looper is just part of the set. Like I still have to be a performer. You know what I'm saying? So like I still got to talk to the crowd. I still got to engage the crowd. I still got to make sure that I'm doing what I'm doing what I need to do as an artist to make sure that they actually enjoy what I'm doing. Because if I was boring,
right,
like yeah, the looper would be cool for like the first two songs, but after that people look at me like, all right, we get it. That's cute. Next performer. You know what I'm saying? So like I gotta be a good performer first before I can even introduce the looping into it.
So what advice would you give other artists or developing artists who are looking to kind of strengthen their presence, their stage presence? Do the groundwork. Like if you want to strengthen like performing, Philly's open mic scene is probably one of the best like in the country. Hit up open mics, go perform, test out the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like, test out how you handle a microphone, even little stuff like that. Like, get comfy being on stage. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think any artist, like, worth their bread nowadays can make any sort of money, be anywhere without performing. So, like, you got to hone your craft. Like, you got to, just like, you know what I'm saying? If you're a basketball player, you're going to be in the gym sweating, right? You're going to be in, like, well, I'll obviously say practice. You know, you got to do what you got to do. So, like, use open mics, even like karaoke. Look here, Yakitori Boy, if you want to go there on Fridays. I love Yakitori
Me
Boy.
too. Let me tell you, them tuna rolls banging. But even there, like spend your little $5, pay for a song, sing a little song in front of that crowd. You know what I'm saying? Get comfy, get cozy. You know what I'm saying? Having eyes on you.
Gotcha. Listen, if you're just tuning in, I'm chatting with Jacqueline Constance. She's just a jack of all trades in this music thing. She's producer, singer, performer. I mean, all of that and more. So it's Artist Tuesday. I'm really glad that we have her in a lounge. If you are an artist, I want to invite you to call in. Like, let's make it a vibe, okay?
Yeah, let's talk.
215-634-8065. Toll free 866-361-0900. It's also Black History Month. So if you have a particular artist that you love, that you want to make sure is on our radar, on our listeners' radar, call in and shout them out. Let us know a little bit about them.
Yeah.
But Jack, jumping back into this combo, you mentioned networking and just kind of building community in the Philly music scene. You've come quite a ways since 2012. So how do you now select the folks that you work with on a scene? Because I mean, for it's got its great things and it's got its challenging things, right? That we learn along the way. So how do you determine who you want to work with and create with?
It's a couple answers in that, right? So if I'm just going to work with somebody, well, if it's going to be like strictly business, right? If it's going to be something where like I don't necessarily have to like connect with you that often, you know what I'm saying? We could kind of work remotely, whatever, blase, blase. Then like you could be, you know what I'm saying, a jerk, and I might be able to kind of forgive it, right? If we're not communicating as much, because business is business. But if I'm really vibing with you, if we're trying to create music, your energy got to be right. Now, if we're doing business, that's one thing. If we're doing music business, you trying to be a publicist, you trying to talk in my ear like you want to be a manager or something like that, that's a little different. We had that conversation on the other hand. But if we trying to work and we trying to be in spaces where we're actually creating, oh no, your energy got to be good. Got to. Like I'm very like into like, you know what I'm saying, vibes and energy, and like my intuition will scream that someone's like red lights, like warning, warning, warning. And like I listen to it. Like if something's not feeling right, I'm out.
Have you always been able to trust your gut in that way?
No. This is something recent. I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten into some situations where like I was around folks and they weren't the best folks. And I would be put in positions where like I would have to leave quickly. I would have to, you know, make sure that like my music or something like that wasn't like stolen or like stuff. Just too many like negative experiences for me not to trust my intuition now. And it was one of those things where like I heard it, like I was still getting the warning signs, but because, you know, I'm trying to be nice, especially when I was newer out here. I'm still trying to build and figure out who I can trust, who I can talk to, like who got the connects, like who's, you know what I'm saying, what people used to call the gatekeepers. I don't know if that's still a term out here. That used to be a big thing when I first got back out here in 2012. But now it's like a lot of these connections I can build on my own. I can like do on my own, and I have enough of a network around me that I don't really tolerate anything funny. Like that's just not my swing. Like if you come to me and like your energy's not right, your intentions aren't good, like I just can't have it. Like I ain't got time for it. Like
oh, you made Frosty give up the snaps. That's how you know you touched on it.
No, but like stuff like that's important. Like you really got to be aware of who's around you and why they're around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's cool to know who's there, but like not everyone's intention is good. And as a woman, you know what I'm saying, being in this industry, like you got to be like double as careful. You know what I'm saying? Like as a queer woman, you got to be triple as careful. And as a black queer woman, you just got to just keep your guard up. You know what I'm saying? So
look, these transitions are being set up like butter tonight. Like I'm trying to tell you, because when we come back on the other side, I want to get into your experience as a black queer woman in this industry, and a recent Instagram post that you put up about balancing your masculinity and your feminine energies. So listen, I've been chatting with Jacqueline Constance. It's Artist Tuesday here in the lounge on Word Radio. We'll be back after these messages.
Yeah.
Brothers and sisters,
don't miss The Source.
Weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
on Word Radio.
WordRadio.com and the Word Radio app.
WordRadio.com.
I ain't no better than you, and you ain't no better than me. But we all have something in common. We all are in species, seeds of God's creation.
Tune in to Messages in the Music every Friday night with Joey T, midnight to 6 a.m. right here on WURD.
This Black History Month, the Kimmel Center for the Performing Arts pays homage to legendary pianist, singer, author, and civil rights activist Nina Simone.
Born in Tryon, North Carolina, Simone studied classical piano at the Juilliard School in New York City. Her interest eventually turned to an infusion of styles including jazz, blues, and folk music. While living in Philadelphia, she performed in Atlantic City clubs and won over fans such as Langston Hughes and James Baldwin. By the mid-1960s, Simone became known as the voice of the civil rights movement, writing and releasing Mississippi Goddamn in response to the assassination of Medgar Evers and the Birmingham church bombing, eventually growing tired of America's deeply divided politics. After moving to several countries, she eventually settled down in France. Simone transitioned at the age of 70 while battling breast cancer.
This celebration of African American history is brought to you by the Kimmel Center for the Performing Arts. Visit kimmelcenter.org.
My mom is stronger than anyone I've ever known. Growing up when life got hard, her strength helped pull us through. Even after her heart failure diagnosis, she remains stronger than ever.
My family's support keeps me strong. Together, we're rising above heart failure.
Heart failure doesn't have to steal your strength. For simple steps you can take to help prevent, improve, or manage heart failure, go to riseabovehf.org.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you to keep bacteria in food from making you ill with 4 simple steps.
This will be a walk in the park.
Clean. Wash hands and surfaces often.
I'm waiting for the rinse cycle.
Separate. Keep raw meats away from ready-to-eat foods.
Yep.
Cook. Make sure meat, poultry, and seafood is cooked to the right temperature.
Fire in the hole!
And chill. Refrigerate food promptly.
Bingo!
Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council. The road trip to food safety starts at foodsafety.gov.
Hey now, this is Dr. Guthrie Ramsey of Musicology, and you're listening to The Lounge on Word Radio.
Kyle Ingram from Peyote Vision. Shout out to Jay Brown and DJ Ideal Boyfriend, and you are listening to The Lounge on WURD.
That's Simple Beauty by DC Music. Welcome back to the lounge. It's currently 8:27 p.m. and sitting next to me is Jacqueline Constance, aka Jack. That's what we know her as. But she's in the lounge with us for Artist Tuesday. But I want to pause here just to remind you, if you're just tuning in, the State of the Union address is happening tonight during the 9 p.m. hour. We will be live tweeting. By we, I mean Word Radio. It's going to be live tweeted by Charles. He's one of our hosts here of Reality Check. If you want to follow along, what you should, as it's happening, it's WURD, hashtag WURDSOTU. So word SOTU. That's going to be interesting, all 9 p.m. hour. So you can listen to us and you can follow the tweets. And hopefully you can get through that, because the last time he did a State of the Union address, it was 80 minutes long.
Yes, it was.
So, yeah, get comfortable if you're going to tune into that. But, Jack, back to you. Back to Artist Tuesday.
Hey.
Before we took that break, we were talking about, or getting into, your experience as a Black queer woman in the music industry. And I remember you put this post up about balancing your masculine and feminine energy, right, and being comfortable with expressing both of those.
Right.
So before we dive into that conversation, I guess let's go into the Black queer woman conversation, like because I know you mentioned in Kappa you were in this bubble, and now you identify as a Black queer woman. What was that evolution? What happened?
So when I was at Kappa, when I was in high school, like I knew that like I loved women, right? I knew that, especially like Black women. Lord, God is good. Right? Come on now. But I didn't necessarily like know the vocabulary for it. So I always knew I had this attraction, but I didn't actually identify as queer until like I actually came back home from college. So it took a lot of like just self-discovery and kind of just figuring out what I like and who I was in those moments. But it took a while for me to even tie in my queerness with my Blackness, and then those two with being a woman. It took a minute to kind of center those three, because if we're talking about like just being in a space where you hit all these like intersections, like it's like you have to pick your poison, right? So for me, I see a lot of people choosing to like identify with one or like associate with just one, because in the long scheme of things, it's easier. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense to kind of align yourself with one, because all I have to worry about is just that struggle, right? If I'm just aligning myself with just being a woman, then all I got to do is worry about just woman issues and rights and all that, you know, with Blackness and with queerness. But to be in a space where you have to identify with all three means you have to not only carry those triumphs, but you have to carry those burdens too. So the cross is bigger. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So it took a while for me to actually like choose to really like identify with all three of those identities. I actually realized those are three parts of me that I can never get rid of. I don't want to get rid of that, and that will always like be a part of me. Like, look at me.
Y'all can't see her, but I mean, you could see her if you could check into our live stream,
right?
On Facebook.
If you live streaming, like, you know what I'm saying. But like, not too many people are looking at me and being like, "Oh my God, she's straight. Oh my God, it's." You know what I'm saying? It's what you like. I carry this. Like, this is something that's me. It's going to be a part of me until the day I die.
Gotcha. So
at this point, it's like I have to choose and make a bold decision to not only reclaim being a woman, being Black, and being queer, but reclaim all of that in the same aspect. You know what I'm saying? In the same conversation. Because, like, I don't get the luxury in just putting one down. I don't get that luxury.
As far as your presence is concerned, this is DJ Frosty Phoenix, by the way, asking questions. I do this every once in a while. It's good. It's good.
He has to be really compelled.
Every once in a while. No, but you know, you're doing a good job. I'm just saying. So, as far as your presence is concerned as an artist and as a queer woman, talking about how you have to carry yourself and how you're perceived, I didn't get that off just straight off. I didn't get that vibe right off.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, thinking about the way people will probably even, I'm going to go with femcs and hip hop queens and the way they might have dressed in the 90s, and you would assume that they might have been queer, and they weren't. Or they were. That wasn't anyone's business, is how they dressed and how they felt comfortable. So to your point, it's interesting that how do you feel about when people would dress a certain way but aren't that way.
And I don't necessarily mean just in like dressing,
and
you know what I'm saying,
and your presence too.
Right, not just in like aesthetic, you know what I'm saying, because you know you can, you know what I'm saying, you could be a tomboy, like, you know what I'm saying, like there are plenty of folks that, you know, don't dress within like, you know, binary terms, right? But what I'm saying is more so like presence, more so like energy that I put off. Like there's no way, like, and I don't say there's no way to deny it, but I don't even feel like I'm in a space where I would want to deny it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like I would want to be a space where I have to hide, like, my blackness, my, you know what I'm saying, my femininity, my masculinity, my womanhood, my queerness. I don't think I ever want to be in a space where I have to do that. But in hindsight, there were spaces where I had to do that, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, before I came out to my family, you know, being in, you know, I get on my soapbox all night, being in the church, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, being in all these, like, spaces where, like, queerness wasn't necessarily a thing. Even, like, if you're a woman, you chilling at, like, the bottom of the totem pole, right? So, I think it's not even my duty, but I feel like I would be selfish if I didn't. Like, I would be super selfish if I didn't decide, like, this place right now to pick up my blackness, my queerness, my femininity, my masculinity, all that I carry, and take it with me. Like, that would be super selfish, especially in today's time. Like,
it's you,
right? It's me, and then people are dying. People are being attacked, right? People are, you know what I'm saying, like, are getting hurt because of things that are considered identity. Like, I don't have that luxury no more.
Yeah. So how does being a black queer woman, if it does at all, influence your music and the messages that you choose to disseminate through your music, or even the songs that you choose to cover? I mean, like, is there that level of intentionality and awareness as an artist when, you know, you're getting ready to create?
Right. I don't think there's necessarily, like, I don't necessarily, like, seek things out because it might read more queer or read more black, right? I think being free enough in the way I present myself will make people more comfortable and start, like, having those conversations around me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't necessarily have to, like, cover, like, a black queer artist or, like, be in a space where, like, I'm melding, like, or talking directly about, like, queerness. If I'm living it every day, but I'm living it freely every day, and then you see me and then you just so happen to hear a song where, like, I'm talking about something and it's not necessarily, like, gender specific, I'm just talking about a life experience, then you gotta start peeling back layers, like, oh, okay. Because at the end of the day, like, we all experience the same things. We just end up being, we end up being oppressed in different ways. But we all experience love, we all experience hate, we all experience all these things. It's just a good majority of us experience the negative a lot more.
Didn't you do a song called Blood Moon?
Orange Moon?
Orange Moon.
Oh, yeah. So
I don't know why that just popped into...
Because we had a blood moon recently.
Yeah.
Called the Wolf Moon. That was like a couple weeks ago. Yep.
But I remember Orange Moon.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember the content of it.
Okay, I got you. Don't worry. So, Orange Moon, because it's like someone actually, like, listened to it and tagged me today. It was like, oh,
yeah,
this is what you're talking
about. There was that content was deeper, and I had to listen to it a couple of times. But yeah, go ahead.
So, without being like too much, because I almost forgot we were on radio. I was about to listen to things. Radio. Sorry, guys. But Orange Moon is pretty much about having someone cheat on you in those ways, you know what I'm saying, and you end up cheating on them with, like, the girl they cheat on you on.
Gotcha.
So when I wrote Orange Moon, I was in, like, this real, like, retaliatory space, right? Like, I was, like, hurt because I experienced something, like not even a breakup because we weren't necessarily together, but like I was just salty. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You ever just be in a space where you just salty, like, it's like, dang, you got me. So I was having a conversation with a friend, and they were like, well, that would be crazy if you ended up doing this. And I'm like, oh, like, that's a dope concept. I'm not going to say I've done it. I'm not going to put myself out there. Come talk to me after this. DM me on the low. Maybe we could have a conversation.
I didn't ask, just for the record.
No. But no. So it was one of those things where, like, and even thinking about it, it's like I weaponized a part of my identity, which is like, not saying it's okay, but it happened, right? So like, even listening to it now, it's like I was in a totally different space then. Like, I'm very, like, I talk about what I'm experiencing in those moments. Like, so a lot of my songs are very honest to me. So
which they should. I mean, I would imagine they should.
I mean, I would hope so, right? Especially as a songwriter, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would hope there would be I'll be a little more connected to the music I write. But, yeah, like.
So how do you go about that?
Thanks, Rita. Now you got me thinking. Got me thinking about my own music.
I mean, you know, welcome to the lounge.
Right. Like, hello.
No, but like, how do you go about your? And all right, let me on my time. All right, yeah. How do you go about your songwriting process? It sounds like it's part of it is your own experiences, right?
Yeah.
But every writer can't be a songwriter, right?
Facts.
And so
bars. Everybody
I did do something there.
You did. That was the thing. That was the thing. Yeah.
See? I'm on a roll. No, but like, how do you write a good song? Like, what is the formula for you, and not just writing but songwriting?
Okay. So everyone knows, like, songs have like formulas, right? Like you write a verse, you write a hook. Hopefully they're both catchy. You write a second verse, go back to the hook. Maybe you got a bridge, go back to the hook. That's your song, right? But for me, the formula, you listen to anything that's on the radio, anything that you like, you could pretty much gain the formula. For me, to write things that were like true to me and true to my life, I had to experience life first. So like, it took me a minute to kind of like go out, be in love, be in hate, you know what I'm saying? Like, do all these things for me to come back to the table and be like, now I have material to work with. So it took me living first before I could even think about like putting like pen to pad. So, yeah.
Okay. We got like a minute before we go to break. Something we don't know about Jacqueline Constance. I just asked Mont this too. His was that he likes cereal. That's how he said cereal, and he eats it by the box.
That's banging. I enjoy a good bowl of cereal.
Bowl. He eats it by the box.
Right. Can't eat a whole box, but enjoy some cereal.
So something we don't know about Jacqueline Constance.
A lot of people, unless you're like my close friends, I have perfect pitch, and what that means is that I can like delineate like notes, like specifically.
She said delineate.
I did say delineate. I'm sorry. I work in after school, so
go ahead.
Come on, delineate. So a lot of like if a singer is like a quarter tone like off key, right? I can hear it. I can hear a lot of things. It's a gift and a curse. I enjoy it, but like there's some things that people like regular folks can enjoy. I can't.
So if we come back on like after this commercial break, can you give us a perfect pitch?
If you play a note, I probably could.
Okay. I don't even know how we could do that. But we're like, I don't know. But maybe she might give us some acapella.
Yep,
I don't know.
I got you.
Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and go to this break. Listen, I've been chatting with Jacqueline Constance. It's Artist Tuesday here in the lounge. You're tuned in to Word Radio 96.1 FM, 900 AM. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Brother brothers and sisters.
Don't miss The Source.
Weekdays 10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
on Word Radio.
WordRadio.com and the Word Radio app.
This Black History Month vignette is brought to you by Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School. Ruby Bridges is an American civil rights activist. She was the first African-American child to desegregate the all-white William Frantz Elementary School in Louisiana during the New Orleans school desegregation crisis in 1960. When Ruby was 6 years old, her parents responded to a request from the NAACP and volunteered her to participate in the integration of the New Orleans school system. Even though her father was hesitant, her mother felt strongly that the move was needed not only to give her own daughter a better education, but to take this step for all African-American children. Ruby Bridges and her mother were escorted to school by 4 federal marshals during the first year Bridges attended William Frantz Elementary. Today, Ruby Bridges Hall still resides in New Orleans with her husband and 4 sons. She is now chair of the Ruby Bridges Foundation, which she formed in 1999 to promote the values of tolerance, respect, and appreciation of all differences. This Black History Month vignette was brought to you by Southwest Leadership Academy Charter School. Studying today to lead tomorrow. Be heard.
Be heard.
Want another way to join the conversation?
Follow us on social media
Using the hashtag onWURD.
Be heard.
Stay connected to Word Radio.
Independent Black Media.
Good morning, class. A quick head count. Tiffany.
Here.
Zach.
Yup.
Stephen. Is he absent again?
For many kids, just getting to school feels like a challenge. Staying through graduation, even harder. That's where Communities in Schools comes in. We're inside schools every day, empowering at-risk kids by helping them overcome barriers that stand in the way of learning. Communities in Schools. We're in schools to help kids stay in school. See how we help all kids succeed at communitiesinschools.org.
What's going on? This is Asher Roth, and you're listening to The Lounge on Word Radio.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Bianca Ingram, and you are listening to The Lounge on Word Radio.
This is Kyle Ingram from Peyote Vision. Shout out to Jay Brown and DJ Ideal Boyfriend, and you are listening to The Lounge on WURD.
Welcome back to The Lounge. It's currently 8:47 p.m. And of course, it's Artist Tuesday. I got Jacqueline Constance. She's in here with me.
Yeah.
How's this going? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah?
This is fun.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I
like stuff like this.
All right. So before we went to break, we were just talking about I don't know, singing or something like that, maybe a cappella.
Oh.
So I don't know. How do you feel about that?
You know what? I think I could do that.
All right, go ahead. Go. You got it, girl.
All right. Me. No, playing. I should have walked away right from the very start. Why did I stay? 10,000 tiny soldiers marching right through my heart. Couldn't keep me at bay. Whoa, how fast I fell, and now I'm under your spell. So tell me, can you feel it too? 'Cause there's magic in everything you do. You're supernatural. Oh, I'm in love with everything about you. Won't you stay here? Come on, you better
come on with it.
Now that's something I cannot roll my tongue for nothing. I can't do that.
You can't.
I can't do that to save my life. Don't you look at me funny. Don't.
All that singing you do.
I know, right? It's wild. And don't judge your mom. Judge your mom.
Well, look, thank you for blessing us. Because I can't sing like that. So I can,
You try to get lessons to start? Be like...
Wait, what?
She was so childish.
Did you see me? See, I looked puzzled, right? Well, you know what? I'll call you for lessons.
You got it.
Just let me know your hourly rates.
Hey.
Okay.
See? Look at this networking happen.
Boom.
No. All right. So look, I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go here with it. Like, what's your message to the world right now? Like, as an artist, like seeing. Just even thinking back to, the different instances that you talked about with intersectionality and picking all parts of yourself up, right? All parts of your identity up. But not even just limiting it to that. Art is a reflection of reality most times. So I don't know, like for you as an artist, like, is there a message that you feel like really passionate about getting out to the world right now? Even through your Instagram, like I feel like there's like a different energy in which you're bringing. You have the daily affirmations and these really beautiful photographs that compliment them. And I just feel like, Jack has something to say. Like, not that you didn't before, but like it seems very, I almost want to say potent. Like, I don't know.
To be completely honest, like, I'm all about like really being like free, right? And okay, let me make it plain. Because of the world we live in, right? Folks that look like me, who identify like I do, we don't necessarily get the space and the autonomy, right, to really be free, and to be free without barriers, limitations, and to be free in like being safe, right? So through everything, no matter what, if I had a message to kind of share, like no matter what the world tells you or what the world shows with like its actions, like never be afraid to be free. Like I have free, like the word tattooed on my arm. Like it's so important to be you and to be you unapologetically. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know not only who's watching you, but like the space you take up by being free can change around so many things, especially if you are black, if you are brown, if you're gender nonconforming, if you exist in non-binary, like if you're, you know what I'm saying, if you're not cis, like it's all these things. Like being free is revolutionary in itself. So walk in that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's so dope that you brought that up. 2 reasons. One, I think you got a show coming up, and although you're free, that show's not free, and
Nope,
it shouldn't be.
it ain't.
Right? So I definitely want to make sure we plug that. But then also, I'm right there with you when it comes to freedom. Like, that's what I didn't realize it, but for a few years of my life, that's what I was chasing.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I had felt almost like constrained. I didn't realize that at some point in time I had started like, or life just in general got to a point where I just felt, I didn't feel like me. Right. And so I don't do resolutions, New Year's resolutions. I do more so these vows to myself, or promises to myself. And for the past 2 years, my prayer and promise to myself and to God has been, you know, help me to free others by first freeing myself, right? And doing so authentically and with some grace, and a whole lot of laughter, right? So that idea, and someone asked me recently, like, what does freedom mean to you? And I don't know, I know what I mean when I say it, but when I went to try to explain it, it was a little different. So I'm still working through that, but I know the feeling. Yeah. Right? So I operate from the feeling at this point until I can fully articulate it. But this show that you got done, tell us about that. I want to make sure we plug this show that's coming up. And then just, you know, any other shameless plugs that you want to make sure we get in here.
Right. So you all are definitely about to get exclusive because I haven't even announced this yet. But at the end of this month, I am dropping a single.
Are you?
I am.
Congratulations.
I am. I'm so excited about it. The single is called Carl Thomas.
What? You know, he was just here.
I know,
in
right?
the city?
So look, I know I didn't. If someone know him, look here. Link him to me. I got a song in his namesake. All right, we'll get there later.
Wow.
But the single's called Carl Thomas, and to celebrate that, I'm having a single release party on the 27th at Silk City. So, oh, you can't come? That's what you're saying? Oh no. Oh, you'll be here. True. Just come afterwards.
What time is it? What's the time?
Doors open at 7.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that. But that's later on in the month. But tomorrow, any of my producers, music composers, sound, creators, manipulators, I am releasing my first ever vocal sound kit on splice.com. If you don't know what Splice is like this big sort of like space where you could download like samples and loops and all kinds of like really dope stuff. So my very own first ever vocal loop kit is coming out tomorrow and is launching at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're a producer, if you're a composer, or you just want like samples of just me singing, like download it. You have to, of course, you got to create like an account with Splice and all that good stuff, but like check it out, like create some dope stuff, tag me in it, and have fun with it, man.
Wow, congrats. Okay, so you got some stuff popping.
I got some stuff coming up, whatever. I just be out here and just creating, just being great.
Being an artist. Oh, congratulations on that. All right, so where can we follow you at, and website, any of that good stuff?
Yeah. So follow me on all the social media platforms. Jack Con Music, JACQCON Music. It's the same on everything: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Christian Mingle, Black People Meet, all that. Come follow me.
Gotta love consistency.
Right, and then if you want to just stay up to me, like sign up for my newsletter, check out my website jackcon.com, and just stay up with me, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. We've been talking to Jacqueline Constance here in the lounge for Artist Tuesday. It's about 8:57 p.m. right now. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to break. But, Jack, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me, yo. This is fun.
All right, y'all, stay tuned. We'll be back.
Vital Signs, Wednesdays on Reality Check with Charles Ellison, 4 p.m. till 7.